Hey guys, it's Bethany here with Studio Sweat On Demand, and today I have got AJ joining me. Hi.
Hello.
So we brought in AJ because we think she's a shoulder expert. No, I'm just kidding. But she has got a wealth of knowledge coming out of her head. And so we're going to talk about shoulders and kind of the imbalance that happens in your shoulders. And if you've ever wondered why people seem to naturally kind of walk around like this, like with their shoulders are turned in, we're going to answer that question for you today and give you some ways to kind of combat that to get your shoulders back and your posture back on track. So, AJ,
perfect. All right.
what you got?
So, one of the #1 unused muscle groups that we don't exercise is your posterior deltoids. We actually have 3 shoulder muscles. We have our anterior, our medial, and our posterior, which is our back one. And this is the one that helps with that posture, that helps hold you up. And that's the one that we rarely ever use. Now, if we have an imbalance in our shoulders, we'll naturally tend to hunch over. So in order to get that back up here, we're going to teach you how to work that posterior delts. There's a few ways to do this. We're going to use the equipment that we have here in the studio and that most of you have here at home. So the first one we're going to do is with weights. You see this a lot in our classes. All you have to do is get that nice tabletop position, bent over, feet about hip distance apart, so a little bit more. Squeeze the butt, squeeze those thighs. Always squeeze the butt.
Always.
Your arms are naturally going to hang right underneath the shoulders, and then you're going to bring it up, elbows slightly bent, where you squeeze that posterior delts, and then you slowly release. Don't let the weights just drop. Sometimes the negative makes you stronger than the positive, okay? So squeeze up and then slowly squeeze down. Perfect. Notice that our shoulders are away from our ears, so you always want to start shoulders back and down. Perfect. Do like 20 more, Bethany.
I'm so glad I grabbed 5.
Perfect.
Is
now, most of you are thinking, oh, I can't do this because I may have back problems. There's always ways. There you go. You drop one weight, split the stance. Now you got something to hold that back. Perfect. You can do it here on the knees. You can even do it on a tabletop. You can do it on your bike. All right, anything that's going to hold you still, save that lower back. All right, so that's your rear delt fly.
Can you do that move seated?
You can do that move seated, yes. If you do it seated, you want to sit at the end of a bench and you do that same exact motion. Back is straight, always shoulders back and down. Good. So for those of you that don't want to stand for every single exercise, you can do it seated.
So let me ask you this. Say I'm thinking I need to work my back muscles. If I did a row, would that hit the same muscles or would that hit different muscles? Would I work that muscle?
It does hit a little bit different muscles. So notice when she rows, she's mainly using that medial part of the back. So that's that mid back when you're doing rows, right? This part, do you use a little bit? Yes, but a lot of times it's resting. So unfortunately, people will row all day, but if you're going to do that, you really need to balance that back out by adding your rear delts to the same exercises when you row. So if you're doing a lot of rows, especially heavy rows, towards the end of that day of exercising, whatever exercise group you're doing, make sure you add the rear delts by doing flies, and we're going to show you on the TRX as well.
Okay,
so yes.
Awesome. Good to know.
All right, so TRX, you want to have it right here at about the midpoint, where you do all our shoulders, right? There we go. Perfect. So it's almost the same exact thing as going to bent over, except we're going to stand up nice and straight, shoulders back and down, feet about shoulder distance apart. Perfect. Squeeze that butt. Now, there's 2 different ways you can do this. You can do a Y.
I want to hit you in the face.
Boom. It's okay. A Y, you go slightly up. Boom. And now you're hitting the rear delts.
Oh yeah.
You feel that?
Oh, yes.
And you're also hitting the medial delts. But if you really, really, really want to focus on the rear delts, you can drop your elbows and make yourself into a W. Notice her elbows are a little bit lower than her shoulders. She's squeezing nice and tight, and she slowly releases. Drops the elbows again. Boom, rear delts. Now,
and focus on the W too, because the W is not here.
Yep.
It's down and kind of stick your chest out and elbows are by your sides. It's kind of weird. I did it wrong the first time she made me do it too.
You always tell people that you want to make your body into a W, right? Like a cheerleader.
Ew. No, just kidding.
Those are just a few ways that you can do rear delts. There's more that you can do in the gym. But honestly, if you really, really want to focus on that posture, when a lot of us hunched over, especially if you sit at a desk, really work on those rear delts. I would recommend at least twice a week.
Awesome. All right, you guys. Thank you, AJ. That was awesome. For fat torching body sculpting classes, check out Studio Sweat On Demand.